Welcome back to Cruising Sanctuary, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, and the Healer Roll quest line. Last episode, we met with the Silver Griffins, and unfortunately, we had to deal with some blasphemies, and double unfortunately, one of them recognized Fordola and turned into a blasphemy himself, even though he was doing so well. Fordola almost turned into a blasphemy herself, and that's a whole other issue altogether. But anyway, let's get right down to it with the next quest in the Healer Roll quest line. The level 87 quest, A New Battleground. Here to see Commander Alton, I'll take it. This way, please.
Our request for an audience with the Sultana has been accepted. Before we depart, I'll share what we've learned since last we spoke. The blasphemy continues to elude us, all the while driving others to succumb to despair in turn. Even with Ala Mhigans and Ul'dah forces searching for signs of the beast and more potential victims, we've yet to discern a pattern in the chaos. Nevertheless, if our blasphemy is like others, its behavior is likely dictated by the passions and regrets of the man it once was. Therefore, any information concerning him and the life he led may help us track it down before it strikes again.
We don't want people to shun the families of the skulls any more than they already are, but the fact remains that the vast majority of the beasts have been born from them. They're the ones at greatest risk of turning, without question. Fordola concerns me too. She came close to transforming once before, so I think it might be best if we keep her out of this after all. She deserves a chance to make amends.
I'm inclined to agree with Chris. She was able to resist the transformation and has shown no signs of succumbing since then. If she wants to do her part, I say we let her.
If only I could go in her stead.
Actually, I was hoping you'd come with us to meet the Sultana. I believe she would benefit greatly from your understanding of the struggles our people face. You'd gain from the experience too. While she's not the sort to brandish a sword and charge into battle, you'll soon discover she's a champion of her own arena, as brave as any warrior.
I doubt she'd have much to learn from the likes of me, but it would be an honor to make her acquaintance.
Arnvald and I will go on ahead and wait for you at the hustling strip. We'll see you anon.
Sounds good to me. Alright. There we go. Off to Ul'dah. Do we have anything we can sell to make up for the fact that we do not have the money? Because I spent it on glamour dispellers on the way here. Chamber of Rule, right. Ralbon, there you are. Ah, Papashan.
Master Papashan was just telling us that Nanamo, or should I say, Lady Lilira, has gone on another of her jaunts about the city.
Though it is not my place to question her Grace's judgment, I do wish she had consulted me before running off on her own. And perhaps I'm overthinking it, but it's unlike her to keep guests waiting. If I may say so, sir, with blasphemies appearing throughout the land, it's a dangerous time to be going for a stroll. I suspect that may be the very reason. She wishes to see for herself how the citizenry fare in these trying times.
Even so, it's downright reckless. We'll find her, though.
No, I couldn't possibly allow such esteemed guests to...
Come now, we might be here on official business, but we're old friends. And as you may remember, I've a knack for tracking down errant sultanas.
Some might say that knack is a rather charitable... I should be glad of the assistance. I'll take a look around here. Quizzing the locals will give me an opportunity to learn of the recent goings-on in Ul'dah, too.
Well then, there's no time like the present. Fear not. With me on the case, this will be over before you know it.
I have a feeling this is going to be a clusterfuck of a time. Good thing we have that teleport to the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Raoban?
It's been a matter of time since I last combed these streets from young Lilira. As a matter of fact, Papachon and I would compete to see which one of us could find her first. As I recall, most of the contests ended in my favor. The trick, you see, is to look past the disguise and pay attention to the gestures and mannerisms. The tiniest movement that might give her away. Come, I'll show you how it's done.
Follow Raoban's lead and try not to fall behind.
Follow my lead. She's fond of perusing the stalls here. If she's not here, where could she be? What if she's been abducted? In one of these pots? Perhaps not. I've never known her to be this elusive. That's odd. I've tried all her usual haunts, so unless she's hiding inside a barrel or something equally nonsensical, she must be elsewhere. Gods, why did she choose now of all times to run off? What if she's been abducted or run afoul of a beast?
There's no... Perhaps we could try...
Oh, whoops. You're right, I know. But it's hard not to worry. Where could she be? Come to think of it, something Papachon said caught my ear. He thought Nonimo went on this excursion because of the emergence of the blasphemy and the beasts. To better understand how our people are coping with the situation. If so, she'd be driven to seek out the most desperate and destitute. Pearl Lane, then. Might I ask you to lead the way? I'll admit, my ability to track missing persons may have dulled somewhat.
Alright.
Pearl Lane has ever been plagued by pickpockets and the like. I'll watch your back, so go ahead and give the search for Lilira your full attention.
Raoban is now accompanying you. And I don't need to go through anything else. This way. What the?
Well, it may not be immediately obvious. Conditions here have improved considerably of late. Her Grace continues to support the rebuilding efforts in Girabania, which has led to the creation of jobs for many of the locals. both here and on the other side of Belsal's wall.
Oh, okay. That's neat. Oh, more. There's more you could speak of?
How about the poor? In every society there are the haves and the have-nots, and seldom is this divide more sorely felt than here in Ul'dah. Many of the young and able-bodied work for Lolorito as guards, though he earns more in an afternoon than most will in a lifetime.
Okay, here we are. Oh, there she is.
Nona! Lady Lilira!
Valbon! Whatever are you doing here? And Chris, too! Well, I am glad to see you both. Our meeting is not yet due to commence for several bells. What is the meaning of this?
We were worried, and with good reason. These are far too dangerous times to be roaming about alone, Your Grace.
Some things never change. But I assure you, I am quite capable of looking after myself. In my own city of all places. More importantly, I wish to observe firsthand how the people have been faring of late, that I might be better prepared to participate in our discussion later. But I have finished. You will be comforted to hear.
Then pray allow us to escort you to more amenable surroundings. Would you care to ride on my shoulder?
Certainly not. You have already attracted more than enough attention.
Doesn't she usually ride on your right shoulder, though? Yeah, I know, that was terrible. Alright, let's get back to, Alright. I didn't want to... There we go.
I thank you all for making the journey here during these difficult times. And it is my pleasure to properly make your acquaintance. On behalf of the people of Eorzea, allow me to express my sincerest gratitude for your continued dedication to our cause.
With respect, Your Grace, I'm just a soldier. Was a soldier.
Still, I say, Commander Alden would not make such a distinction, and neither will I. You yet serve your people, and have provided solace to many of Ala Mhigans' most vulnerable. If we are to deal with this threat, we must forearm ourselves with knowledge. I understand you come bearing information regarding the blasphemy and its victims.
We have indeed. Hence the need to
locate the families of the Cranialupi members who have fled to Thanalan. There is no end to the struggles faced by Ala Mhigan refugees, and those who once pledged allegiance to the Empire are no exception. But rest assured that irrespective of their past, all will be treated with an even hand. All will be afforded such aid as I am able to provide.
Magnanimous as always, Your Grace.
If I might be so bold, I've a question. What do you have in mind for those most at risk of undergoing the change?
I believe there is but one recourse. Earnest and open dialogue. While some are born into unimaginable wealth, others suffer great hardship and oppression. The circumstances of our birth are beyond our control. Our fates subject to the whims of the gods, some would argue. I once thought myself a prisoner to my fate. A figurehead, helpless to watch on as my people starved. A powerless puppet. I wanted nothing more than to cast it all aside, to free us all, but failed for my naivete. And then was afforded a second chance for my privilege. The world is unfair, terribly so, but we have the power to push back against inequalities and injustices, if not overcome them on blessed occasions. To love our neighbor and share in life's bounties, to open our hearts and come together as one.
Truer words were never spoken.
But without the support of the people, such words are naught but vain platitudes. Thankfully, my recent attempts to make inroads with the monetarists have met with some success. Despite differing views on many subjects, we yet strive to find common ground.
Common ground. We've been pouring all of our efforts into aiding families of the Crania Lupi. And while it's seemed to help to a degree, some have still succumbed and turned. Of course, they're not the only ones in danger. Ala Mhigans everywhere, whether they sided with the Empire, fought for the Resistance, or were caught in the middle, they all suffered. They all wake up in the night at times, haunted by memories of death and despair. We know what could happen if those feelings are left to fester.
The legacy of the imperial occupation will not soon be forgotten. But rather than seek to forget, mayhap it is necessary to remember, to acknowledge and accept the truth of it, that they may properly mourn those they have lost.
Aye, a remembrance. I propose we hold a memorial ceremony for those who died during the war. Everyone, no matter who they were or what they did. Let them be loved, let them be hated, but above all, let them be remembered. And in the remembering of the dead, in their honor and their sin, we, the living of Ala Mhigo, may yet find a sliver of common ground.
It's a noble sentiment, but bringing together people who have reason to distrust one another and risk inflaming tensions could be a recipe for disaster. Then again, we can't keep ignoring the Marid in the room and do nothing to address the situation. As long as we leave it to the individuals to decide whether or not to attend the ceremony, I think it's worth a try. Organizing an event of this scale will require a great deal of effort, so I offer my full support. Once you know what's needed, come to me and we'll put the plan into action.
Obviously, some will balk at the idea, which is perfectly understandable. So I'll be listening to their opinions as well. After all, we want it to be a ceremony that brings all the Mhigans together. And I was wondering, Your Grace, if I might ask about your approach to, well, talking to the people, winning them over. As you can tell, I'm no politician, so I'd be grateful for any advice you can share with me.
Why, I would be delighted to. As a matter of fact, I have a number of matters I wish to discuss with you.
And on that note, I suggest you and I return to Ala Mhigo.
Alright. Back to the Ala Mhigan quarter. Even though I'm blowing my gill with every trip. Going up. And it's raining, of course. Alright. Raban, got something for us?
I knew Arnvald would make a good impression, but he's outdone himself. Not only has he found a new avenue in life to explore, he's taken to it with considerable aplomb. And while his proposed memorial ceremony is bound to have its detractors, I have faith that many will come round. Not all, but enough, I pray. For our part, we must stand at the ready for whatever may occur. I shall send word if there are any developments.
Alright. The next quest will be done with the newest job in Final Fantasy XIV, Sage, and it will be the level 88 quest, Laying the Past to Rest. But until then, that's it for this episode. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube and you like this video, click the like button below and leave a comment. Here are the links for subscribing to my channel. Be sure to click the bell icon for notifications. Watching more of this playlist, watching the previous episode, and watching the next one when it comes out. Until next time.